One of the questions I get asked the most often is, what are the strategies that we use when it comes to a successful home purchase? And that's from whether it's a first-time home buyer or somebody who buys multiple properties like an investor. Now, before I really dive into the strategies that we've come up with and that we use, I first want to define what it means to have a successful home purchase. What do we mean by success? So success means at the end of the day, you being the purchaser or the buyer has a good experience and are happy with the decision that you made and the home that you have. So after everything's settled and all said and done, you feel like you made the right decision and you're happy with it. So what does that mean to get someone there? It means that before we do anything, we need to make sure that there's a proper goal setting and discovery done so that we know exactly what it is that you're looking for and that we're not potentially making any sort of mistakes. For example, if somebody's looking to upsize, we want to make sure that things are affordable. If somebody's looking to downsize, maybe it's their first time moving into a condo, we want to make sure that that's something that's actually suitable for them and they understand what that means. If somebody's looking to be a first-time investor, we want to make sure that they understand beyond just equity appreciation and leverage gains and things like that. We also want to make sure that they understand cash flow and what they're going to be on the hook for and what they can and can't do maybe with residential tenants. So there's a bunch of different things there that can really go into making sure that somebody has a successful home purchase and that they're happy with it at the end of the day. So here are the things that we've determined make the biggest difference and that we can contribute on our end. So we call it the 7 benefits. So these are the 7 things that we do to try to make sure that everyone that we work with has a successful home purchase. And we've turned them all into different services or things that we can provide. So the first thing is VIP house hunting service. Then we have a neighborhood door knocking service. And I'm going to go into these a little bit more in depth in a minute. I'm just going to cover them right now, just superficially. So we have love it or leave it guarantee, which a lot of people love that. We have preferred services, which are the people that we work with within our network. We have multiple regional experts, which is very helpful. VIP pocket inventory access. That's a really unique one that a lot of people don't have like we do. And then no obligation guarantee. So a little bit of security there. Before I dive into each one of those, I just want you to understand a little bit about the market and what it's like to work exclusively with an agent and what it's like in the industry. So home buying decisions can cost the average home buyer tens of thousands of dollars in unnecessary expenses. What does that mean? Well, let's say you were purchasing a property with the plan of putting up a fence. Then you realize that you couldn't put up a fence and therefore the property wasn't suitable, or maybe you had to find alternative measures. Let's say you had a dog or something like that and needed a fence so that you had a fenced-in yard, and then you found out that you couldn't, then you have to hire a dog walker. It's a very, very small one. Then there's bigger ones from there. For example, if something isn't properly explained, let's say, for example, you're buying a home where there isn't a warranty on appliances, and then you move in and all the appliances aren't working. How to handle a situation like that can really vary. If there's several appliances not working, you can look at spending $5,000 to $10,000 or maybe even more, depending on the state of the home. So let's talk about what it's like to work exclusively with an agent and when you're interviewing an agent, what that might look like. So just so that you understand, in 2022, it's estimated that there'll be 2 homes for every 1 agent that comes to the market. That means that the average person, because there's a buy and sell to each home that comes to the market, that means that the average agent, if we just even everything out, will have the opportunity to do 4 transactions to help 4 families each or over the span of 2022 for the year. Now, we also know that about 20% of people tend to do about 80% of the business. So that means that there's a lot of agents out there only doing, less than 4 deals per year. And it's really hard in a market that changes so rapidly right now to really have your finger on the pulse when you're only doing 1 or 2 deals, maybe less than 4, less than 1 a quarter, really. It's really hard to be in the know. Whereas if you are working with somebody that does multiple deals, for example, our team does over 500 deals a year, it's much easier to have your finger on the pulse because you know exactly what's going on, definitely on a week-to-week basis. Okay, then we have 85% of sales agents have no specific certification or designation related to working with buyers. And I'm going to tie this into the next point, that 51% of real estate agents actually spend less than $500 a year on professional development and skills training. So one of the big things there that we believe in is that continuing education is is really how you get better and how you better service your clients, and what really is what makes your business as a real estate agent grow, because you know what it is that you're talking about and what to do, and it also helps you stay in touch with the changing markets. So yeah, we're big believers in continuing education. I mean, we have weekly training internally, and then we all attend conferences. We all do external training. We sometimes have external training as rewards for hitting certain parameters and things like that internally within our team. We're big on education. And then the last point here is really, really important. It's that 90% of home buyers actually didn't have any sort of buyer agency disclosure presented to them in writing prior to working with an agent. So what that means is whenever you work with an agent, there's certain things that you need to know about how that relationship works. And unfortunately, a lot of people are really scared to talk to people about what those disclosures are and to present people with some sort of an agreement and say, this is how it works. At the end of the day, the way that it works is if you want somebody to commit to you and work for you, there needs to be some sort of arrangement put in place. And all it is making sure that that's clear. And for some reason, a lot of people are intimidated to do that. I think that it's, because, again, like I said, there's 2 homes for every 1 agent. I think that they're scared to scare people away. But ultimately, it's just protecting both sides and making sure that there's a clear understanding of how the agreement and how the arrangement would work between the 2 parties. And that's how you actually avoid disappointment. Because what happens when somebody's disappointed is that there was some sort of expectation and the expectation wasn't communicated, and then therefore one of the parties didn't deliver on that end. Often it's the real estate agent, which actually can bring me into my next point here. Did you know that actually 68% of buyers were not satisfied with the real estate agent that they worked with during the home buying process? And again, you need to talk about the expectations. The same way that we need to know what are the expectations on the home that you're looking for, we also need to know what are the expectations of the agent. So for example, I have lots of people that are, that I work with regularly. And the expectation is that if something comes, like there's no sort of rush, they're not looking. If the right thing came, they would be interested, and then we would talk to them about it. But I'm not actively looking necessarily for them. Then I have clients that I'm actively looking for on a regular basis because they are, they have a shorter time frame or time horizon, and they're looking to make a purchase sooner. So it really depends, and it's important that you have that conversation. Because you don't want to have somebody that needs to obviously make a move sooner that has a short time horizon, and you don't want an agent that's just, kind of passively, if something falls into their lap and if something happens, that they're able to help you out, right? If you want help, we need to make sure that that's set and those expectations are put out there. So this is bringing me into also understanding what the expert advice that you want to be getting from an agent, somebody that you just had to work with. So you want to make sure that they are able to cover and help you with your homeownership goals. Again, this goes back to making sure that a successful home purchase is one that is the right decision. So you need to understand and define your homeownership goals, understanding out-of-pocket expenses. It's important that they have an idea of what it's going to cost you to purchase the house, not just the down payment, but the closing costs and what you maybe need to budget moving in to the type of house that you're moving into. It's very different moving into a century home versus a new build. Okay, and then we have market intelligence, just making sure that they have their pulse on the market and they're able to keep up with the changes, especially right now with things rapidly changing all the time, and that they understand real estate as an investment. So sometimes, not just when you're working with investors is real estate an investment. Sometimes a real estate investment could be a blend of your home plus an investment, or it could just be straight your dream home. Like there's different things there, but there's always a little bit of wiggle room within real estate, because as you pay down a mortgage, you gain equity, and there's things that you can do there to open things up. I'll give you another example. Understanding real estate as an investment, as you pay down your mortgage, you gain equity. You could either take that equity to do something with it, or you could refinance to lower your payments and then save the difference towards your retirement. There's different things like that they may want to consider and be able to talk to you about. Okay, and here we just have a little last thing, just so that you understand a little bit about our team. We're a big believer that we want to help all of our clients buy with confidence, and we want to be there with them every step of the way. That's from when we initially have our very first phone call all the way to not just after the the home closes, but we believe in long-term relationships. So after you've been in that home for 2 years and you have some sort of HVAC question, you give us a call, and we'll make sure that we help you out. And that's how we've been able to get almost 500 to date, almost 500 5-star Google reviews. So now let's talk about the benefits and the services and the things that we think make the biggest difference when it comes to creating a successful home purchase. And the first thing is what we've turned into our VIP house hunting service. So one of the things that you want to make sure when you're trying to look for your dream home or the property is that you are one of the first people to actually see that property. So one of the things that we do is that we actually arrange it so that people get a count within our back-end system through the MLS system, so that as soon as something that meets or exceeds their criteria hits the market, they get notified in real time. So if somebody's really looking and it's a competitive market out there, we want to make sure that they get notified in real time. So they get notified, I get notified, and we're both able to see those properties and communicate about it as soon as possible, so that we're able to jump and pounce on things and create opportunities. Now, it doesn't have to be like that. If somebody just wants to receive one email a day or one email a week, we can do that. But a part of it is making sure that we can get the house to you as quick as possible so that you're in the best position to move on it, given whatever your circumstances might be. Okay, benefit number 2, we have our neighborhood door knocking service. So let's say you really want a specific neighborhood and there's just not enough coming to market in that neighborhood. We're at a team of over 40 agents as of today, and we all band together and we do regular door knocking. We do regular canvassing of specific neighborhoods where we have buyers looking to purchase in that neighborhood. So we actually have turned it into a service for our buyers. So when you work with us, we know what it is that you're looking for. We will canvass neighborhoods that you are interested in, trying to find the home, or trying to find your next home. And it's something that is actually of interest to you, so that you can actually make a move and not be forced to buy somewhere else that you're not interested in just because something's not coming up. There are people in every neighborhood. Neighborhoods turn over anywhere between 6 to 13% per year. So there are people that are considering selling. They may just not be there yet. And by knocking on their door, we can try to create those conversations. Okay, benefit number 3. This is a big one, the love it or leave it guarantee. Essentially, buying a home can be a really emotional process. And, if you're competing with other offers, that can get it more emotional and you start making more emotional decisions. And sometimes you might see something and say, hey, this is the best fit for us right now, but your circumstances can change. If you don't love the home, we're okay to help you buy another home and then sell that home for you at cost. So there's no extra fees. There are costs to selling a home, but I won't charge you anything additional to sell your home if it wasn't the right home. And there's an 18-month promise that comes with that. So you purchase a home, you're a year into it and you say, you know what, this wasn't the right decision. We should not have downsized and purchased a condo. Condo living is just not what we thought it was, and it's not for us. Or maybe you purchased a condo, or you moved somewhere else and then you had family move to another area of the region and you want to be closer to your family for babysitting, things like that. Within that time period, we will sell your house for no extra costs. It's just the cost of actually the sale. We don't make any sort of commission or money on top of that. Okay, benefit number 4. This is a big one. Preferred services. We build our real estate around people. So not just the clients that we work with and have long-term relationships with, but we also try to work a lot with different people within the community and different communities so that we make sure we're always getting the best services. It's actually very common for somebody to offer kickbacks to agents. I don't take any sort of kickback from anyone. I just ask that they put whatever they're willing to offer me back into my clients and make sure that they provide an exceptional service. So we work with, lawyers, home inspectors, mortgage brokers. One of the key things with having a good relationship with lawyers is if you're buying something that has a common elements portion to it, where there's some sort of status certificate that needs to be reviewed, I can get that reviewed fairly quickly. Whereas if you have somebody that doesn't have a good relationship with their lawyers, it can sometimes take, up to 2 days to get that reviewed, and I can often get it done within a few hours. Then we also work with financial planners, advisors, we have investors, we have cleaners, movers, handymen, you name it. One of the really cool services that we just started working with is this place called Rocket Deposits. So let's say you're somebody that has a lot of equity, but not a lot of cash at the moment. There's a way that, if you're looking to make a move, but you don't have the cash for the upfront deposit, we can still make something work where we're able to give a bond in place of the actual cash so that you don't actually have to cash in your position on an investment or on a piece of equity. You could leverage that to purchase something, which is really cool. All right, benefit number 5, multiple regional experts. So one of the ways that we've kind of grown our team is whenever we have an area, we've kind of grown our team narrow so that we can really have a strong presence within our region, and then we're kind of expanding that region out. Because what always happens is, people either moving north, south, east, west, sometimes within a certain radius of their work. It's really common. Somebody might start in a downtown area or in a condo or in a townhome, and then they eventually want to move more towards a rural property. Maybe they want to have more yard and more property. So yeah, we've kind of expanded our regional experts. We've got a ton of people throughout southwestern Ontario. We really dominate, west of the GTA. We have a huge presence throughout there. Okay, then we have our VIP pocket inventory access. So as a large team that does over 500 sales per year, we have a very large network, and we actually have a lot of homes that people are interested in selling their home, and they have a certain price that they want, but they actually don't want to put it on market. And they'd be interested in a private sale if somebody was like, hey, I'm looking for this. This is my price range. And once, we have a buyer that we know that's looking for that, we actually have an inventory that's off the market of people that would consider selling for a given price. And we might be able to make a match happen there. Not only that, we also have a large list of things that are always coming to market. So I think right now, I think we will have well over 20 homes coming to market over the next couple weeks, or the next few weeks, maybe it's 3 weeks. So when we know that something's coming, you're able to get access to that, and you can get previewings and things like that, and you can actually be in a more favorable position to move on that property, since you can actually see it before it even comes to market. Sometimes they don't even come to market. We can do the deals off market as well if everything works out for both sides. Okay, then we have our no obligation guarantee. So one of the big things is we want to make sure that everyone's satisfied working with us. If we're not doing a good job, if you're not happy with what it is that you're doing, or your circumstances change and you can no longer work with us, that's okay. Things change, and sometimes people, not everyone's a fit. Sometimes different personalities don't get along. That's okay. So we're not gonna, press you under our thumb and say, hey, you said you're going to work with us. We have an agreement here, and then you said this. This is about your experience. This is about the experience of you as the buyer, and we're not looking to take away from your home purchasing experience because of any reason and looking to force you to do anything. This is about what's best for you and your family. Okay, so just a quick summary here. The 7 benefits that we offer and that we believe make the most successful home purchase is our VIP house hunting service, finding a place as soon as possible, or having the ability to pounce on it. If you can't find a place, neighborhood door knocking service. Then if you happen to make a mistake or circumstances change, we have the love it or leave it guarantee to give you a backup there. Then to make sure everything goes smoothly all along the process, whether it's from the start, middle, end, we have different providers that help give us preferred services that'll help you along the way. HVAC, lawyers, mortgage brokers, cleaners, investors, everything along those lines. We have multiple regional experts to help you find the property. So if you're looking to make a move to another town, municipality, if you want, you have a family member in a certain area that maybe is not in your vicinity, we have somebody that can help you. We have our VIP pocket inventory access, which helps, you see a bunch of different off-market opportunities that we have coming through all the time. And then we have our no obligation guarantee in the event that your circumstances change and you're no longer able or looking to purchase a home. So where can we go from here? Option 1, you can definitely take everything that you learned from this video and see, what you're able to kind of do on your own, or you can see, interview some other agents and see if you can find the right fit. Option number two, of course, is we're able to book a strategy call today. So if you want to, you can simply go into the description below, and you can find my Calendly link, and you can book an appointment with me. If I'm not the right person or the right fit, like I said, we have multiple agents throughout the area. And we have multiple agents on our team. And then we have a whole vast network even behind that I haven't even touched on, of people that we work with across Canada and the US and some other countries as well. So book a strategy call. Let's have a conversation, and let's see what I can do to help you out.